Hi, good evening. I was really busy lately, so I couldn't make this video. Actually, I didn't even feel like making it because since I made the last one, I'm in a completely different energy. But I want to be done and over with what I have to talk about because it's like with this hopefully closing this cycle of talking about the unfinished stories and unfinished businesses. Um, Yeah, I made a mistake last time and I was recording on my phone and it's a new device, so I don't know how it functions. So basically, um, because my talk lasted a little bit over an hour, then it just stopped recording at some moment and it didn't save it. And then I just kind of summarized a little bit in a shorter version, but it didn't mention everything. So I don't actually recall everything that I said there, and I don't know if I'm going to be repeating everything here because I was really very much in my anger when I was speaking about it. And since then, I've done a couple of more between live sessions and I've done some work on me. And yeah, I'm well in my process of certification of doing my tasks that I'm supposed to do. So I'm doing a lot of work with other people because there were a lot of sessions that I was supposed to submit, and well, a lot. It's a lot because it's not only one session, it's two, so it makes it a lot. So some things cleared up, and then I had some work done because I'm working with a very experienced therapist myself, so exchange sessions, and yeah, I've done some work now regarding that. But the issue of an unexpressed anger came up in some past life curses and stuff like that that were revolving around that. And I'm not going to be talking about it now, but I do think that unexpressed anger and stuff like that that can come up in a past life regression are a big topic that I should be talking about, and my especially an- anger and women, and how women are actually not allowed to feel anger or express anger, which makes many of us be very obnoxious actually. So yeah, this is a huge topic. Not that I didn't know it before, but I don't think that I in my videos I've ever touched upon it before. So, anyways, it's for another topic, and I'm experiencing a lot of shifts, internal shifts, because it's like I said, the grid that I'm downloading through this session is completely different. The how I feel it from the one that I've had before, with the other school, with my Newton Institute, and how come I don't know, but it does feel as I'm it's not like it doesn't lead to the same portal, but it feels as if it's a completely new set of ladders, or if you want architecture that is actually or creating this grid, and I'm downloading a lot, and it's a lot of work on my body, and it's making my nervous system feel a little bit overloaded at times, and at the moment it's more around my eyes. So this is why I look a little bit strange. I actually felt and looked a little bit better than today. For I was more ready to make this session yesterday, this transmission. Oh, but I was supposed to have a conversation with the client in the morning, so I couldn't do it in a like consultation. Um, yeah, basically feels like I'm expanding my business, my therapy work abroad, which I am gaining new sets of different types of clients at different energies, which is actually what I wanted. I've been trying to gain it for a while, so to where it leads, we will see. But this is where I'm at, and yeah, these internal shifts that this is creating, with along with everything that is being moved through the energy changes and shifts of the earth and of the um, interstellar visitors and cosmic energies that are coming down, is sometimes a lot on my body. So I'm mostly not getting out of my apartment that much, or just going around my immediate area. So yeah, and for somebody who's used to movement a lot, this is a little bit frustrating for me. But that's what my body wants at the moment, and I have to listen to it. So, anyways, yeah, I wanted to talk about, and I talked about in my Serbian video about the issues with my brother. It's like the continuation of everything I've spoke before in several videos so far, but it kind of escalated from the last time. Like, I think I spoke in the summer that he got kicked, got us mm, hit by our first immediate neighbor, and we had problems with him before for the last couple of years in last couple of years, because they constantly call the police on him, and they're trying to um, make the system, the social welfare system and judicial system, work for them in this regard, and they want to put him in an institution or just remove him from his house, our house, our family house there, because they don't want him there. So they're trying to convince everybody that he's sexually abusing their daughter, and who's in her late 20s, and is pretty much aware of what she's doing, and she basically giving false statements and lying a lot. And the last part that happened was this, that her father, our neighbor, that we know for all our lives, hit them because he was, I don't know, upset with other things, and my brother would just happen to be there. There was no immediate reason for that, meaning that my brother didn't do anything to cause it. And yeah, there's been a lot of tension throughout this summer and last couple of months there. And it's really not that much for me, more for him, because he's the one who's living there. And I've been spending a lot more time there because of that. But the man that we're talking about is a bit of a psycho. And the entire family is. Their son is a small fry drug dealer, and I think he's also. And he's a bit of abusive man. And this kind of psychology that doesn't like women talking back to him and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of things going on there. It doesn't really matter, and I really don't want to repeat all of this. I was speaking very much about it in my Serbian video because it was so much. I just came back from home, and basically we had a court case. We took him to the court because they are trying to take my brother to the court, but to lie, they're lying to the police. And oh God, only now I saw how much of psychos those people are. And actually, this man is a little bit dangerous. He's a mm, sadistic man who likes to attach himself to somebody who's weaker than him, and which now is my brother because he cannot defend himself. And basically, when we go to the police officer and even to the court, and they see that he cannot harm anybody because he's walking, but he's barely keeping his own balance. Not to mention that he cannot deliberately or physically harm anybody. And we even went to the court's doctors and everybody, and so that they can give him an evaluation of whether he can harm somebody or not. And we went to talk to the district attorney because they filed an appeal, like, against him because of that, because they're relying on my brother not being able, because his big disabilities are in his speech, so they're relying on my brother not being able to speak for himself. So they basically called the police immediately, and they accused him of stalking his daughter. Well, they never met that day. So, and he was so upset that I couldn't even communicate properly with him. So the other neighbor came and basically helped him and stopped the situation from escalating. But they didn't call the police to defend my brother. Although my brother asked this neighbor, he just called our father to go there to me. So I called our lawyer. So our lawyer was present afterwards, after all of this, so that the situation doesn't escalate. But in the meantime, they already called the police and accused my brother. So basically, from being a position of a victim, he now has to convince the police that he's not an abuser, being accused of an abuser who actually threatened him, kicked him, and threatened him that he will kill him, that he will smash his head, that he will remove him from there, and other stuff. So we didn't know what to do, and we this autumn we filed a lawsuit against the neighbor, and basically we lost it. It had several trials. It was kind of stalled because their lawyer was not appearing and everything, and they were losing until one moment, and on the last hearing they came looking differently, which was a bit odd. The energy was really horrible there. It was so heavy and negative you could just cut it with your knife, which is this is not usually the place that feels good for me. I would not normally go somewhere like that, or to my energy, to my body, to my being, to my energy body, it doesn't feel good going to the police, going to district attorney, going to court several times, and listening to all of the stuff that they were talking about my brother, where he was basically completely humiliated, and all of, you can't imagine the things that I said about him, and such lies, without even blinking. This is something that criminals do, which basically they are criminals, just petty criminals. So yeah, I was not taking it well, and every time I go home, I pick up a lot of heavy energy, and I get sick after that. I had to clear myself a lot and invest a lot of time and money and energy in that. And basically, my jaw problem and everything else that caused that was coming from this heavy energy. And they're also going to somebody who's using this mumbo jumbo black magic stuff, whatever. But I do feel a whole lot of it, and besides, I see it in my dreams, and it's affecting me, and it was affecting my spine and my jaw and all of this. I basically came back sick again, and yeah, I was not. I mean, we did not receive the verdict. We did not hear it on the hearing, but it was really odd when I saw the judge speaking to them in a different way. I saw that they felt like victorious a little bit. They came with big smiles and laughing, and then they were different. And eventually, he allowed the daughter, who was called as a witness there, to speak everything but that day, and they couldn't say what happened. They claimed that nothing happened, and my brother just imagined everything, and uh, on spot made it up because he just wanted to uh, spite them. And although we had a witness that who confirmed that he saw my brother on the ground, and that he heard the neighbor threatening him, we lost the court case. because it was based first of a minor I don't know the word in English for that injury, but then we changed it because we our lawyer didn't know what will the what will our witness say, because we're all first door neighbors, so we never know. So he changed it into insult, and the judge claimed that there was no insult towards my brother, and my brother is nor hurt nor insulted. And then he didn't say that after the very hearing. He said that he'll send report his decision in a written verdict, which he has a right to do, but it was kind of strange. And he was speaking to them, not us. And yeah, it was kind of strange. And I felt, and I said when we left the court, I said to my lawyer, like, that this didn't go well. And I have a strange feeling. So later on, I did find out that they found a connection, somebody who knew somebody who's a big shot, like in this whoever that is, or their lawyer talked to them, and I also saw it in my dreams. So basically, he was given the facts that were not true, that were out of the context, and he never asked about those facts on a hearing, so we could never address it. And when I read the verdict, it's pretty much, I mean, I don't want to, I want to publish this somewhere because it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that you can't imagine. I mean, it's, yeah, we filed an appeal to a higher court, so we're waiting for a decision. But it's a small town, and you don't know who knows who needs who's relative, and whatever. So, and who is, excuse me, but who's fucking who? So I just I'm not, I don't know. I'm not sure. There are three judges there, and theoretically, you cannot know who the judges are until they decide upon your appeal. And I created it. I created it. Yeah, but basically, I created it because I couldn't convince my lawyer to stick to my brother's state and him being an invalid and a helpless person that the state is supposed to protect. And I was calling on human rights. So he wrote an appeal like that. And yeah, so we're waiting. I'm hopeful, but I don't know. And it was a really pretty big injustice. My brother felt pretty bad, and I felt pretty bad. And he even said in the court that he feels humiliated as a human being and as a person with disabilities, because this is addressed to him, because they can't stand him because of his disabilities. And yeah, although he's been living there all his life, and this is coming out now, but he's basically showing us what's been on his mind all his life. He just could use it now. And this all started, since the moment he took the portion of our land, and I need to deal with that also now. So basically, this means like he can just come into your uh, yard, do whatever he wants, take a portion of your land, take your house, or try, or do whatever, kick you, beat you, and then he can get, he can, he'll just go with anything, and the court just allowed him to do pretty much basically anything he wants to, without being punished for that. And yeah, we're still in the hearing. And when I was creating the Serbian video, they were supposed to be, her parents were supposed to be witnesses for her appeal. And the amount of lies, oh my god, they made it sound, when you listen to this, if there's somebody who doesn't know my brother's state, and they don't know that we already went to a hearing with district attorney, and he already had an evaluation from professionals, from psychiatrists, from the court psychiatrist who said that he cannot harm anybody. So basically, they don't know that, and I just I was about to blurt out everything just before that hearing, and it was actually a good thing that this video was not was cut off. So yeah, but when you read all their testimonies, it feels like, oh my God, poor little girl, this man is just about to kill her. Well, she's not so little, and they made him sound like he's a pedophile because they say it's going way. They're trying to make it look as it's going way, way back until she was, I don't know, some 15. And she basically, by the way, she's studying the law and like somebody who's supposed to protect human rights. God help us. So yeah, she didn't even finish university, and she's already abusing some of the things that she learned so that she can use it against, she just found where she can just file charges against them. So yeah, it's a really ridiculous situation, and I thought, I mean, this uh court case that we had, yeah, it kind of hurted me a little bit there. This court case that we had was no big deal because we sued them, and we sued them for some ridiculous amount of money, not only because we want their money, but because we don't see another way to end this, to stop this. And they're the kind of people that they will only understand that when you kick them in the pocket. But basically, we ended up needing to pay their lawyer now a huge amount of money as a revenge. So he's basically showing us that he can do whatever he wants to us, and we can't do anything to him because they're this kind of people that just need to win in whatever way. They basically know that he's guilty, and he knows that he is guilty, but he's just going to show us now, especially me, because he cannot stand that a woman is standing up to him, and he's used to abusing women, and we're not the only ones who had problems with him in this family, but him in particular in our street there back home. And they're usually the ones who are weaker than him, and that he's pretty sure that they cannot defend themselves or stand up against him. So he can't stand that I'm standing up to him now, especially that I'm a woman. That's making him completely unpredictable and crazy. So even if we want, I don't know what next can happen, not only to my brother but to me, because they're very much directing their hate towards me, and whatever they're doing, they're sending to me. And the amount of negative energy, basically sleeping my room that I sleep in, they basically their yard is looking straight into my window. Their doors, uh, entrance door is looking at the window on my room. And yeah, there's a lot of heavy energy they're sending to me. They're this or that way, only with their thoughts, because they became so obsessed with us. It's like they're creating. I think that it's like it became a family business. What next will they do to us to revenge or create some malice to us? And I feel it, and of course my brother feels it. But I mean, what's the point? I mean, this is our house. It's a family house. My parents built this house. It's not something we bought, and we're not planning to sell it. Their idea is to kick us out of there and make us sell it, and ideally sell it to them. Well, not sell it, but just give it to them. Because I also found out that he didn't have legal rights to claim the portion of this land legally in the, I don't know the word in English for this institution where they're holding all the documents for the land ownership. Uh, yeah, he either paid or he had a connection to do that. But there is um, allotment on this land or on our yard, which is basically saying that it's empty. When it's not empty, we have a house there, and that it's basically set for sale to some investors that want to build something there. And I don't know whether he has an agreement or he just or somebody told him something and they promised him their our house or whatever. But yeah, he's also being used in another process uh, directed towards me because I've discovered some things and I've started an international process. I don't want to talk about it now. And this is something that they've been trying to prevent me from doing for a really long time. And I didn't have all the things and all the facts by now, but it's yeah. I mean, I started it. I'm not talking, like imaginary things or something that I'm just going to do at some point. I started it. I sent my documents and I started an international investigation around something because I found out some things um, regarding my birth certificate and some accounts and some family history. And of course, they don't know about it, and I didn't know it until recently. But even before they were being used, and they have remote control. Actually, yeah, this is a long story, and I'm going to speak about it in another when the time comes around that because it sounds a little bit crazy until you find yourself in the middle of it, and then it actually makes sense when you actually have a confirmation in reality around all this. And I do. It's just that I can't speak about it because I'm in the middle of this process at the moment. So, and at the moment, I can only wait for some of the things. And yeah, I already have some feedback and some documents that I've sent that and while I sent documents, I asked for international investigation for these documents to be given to investigative bodies, international investigative bodies, and it's done. So something is going on, and I don't want to jeopardize it by my. I'm the worst possible person to keep a secret because I can't keep my mouth shut. I just have to blurt it out somewhere. And yeah, it's so I better not talk about it at the moment. But all this is his idea, and he doesn't have a clue or could participate in all this. So it's just being used. All of this situation that has been created long before is being used in all of this, and it's being enhanced through through other stuff. So their emotional reactions and even our emotional reactions are being enhanced through electronic devices and stuff like that. But there's been a lot of tension, anyways, even without that, because it's really unbearable when you have to. You're living there and basically you're looking at each other like they're very close, like like if you have a shotgun, somebody would shoot you at that moment. So yeah, so it's very unpleasant for my brother, and he's not taking it well. He's okay now, but he wasn't taking it well, and he's not as psychologically stable as I am. And even although I am psychologically stable, I wanted to kick their butts basically a couple of times. And the last time I said it, I did practice martial arts, and at some point, I wouldn't mind kicking his ass. I don't mean Mike does this to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if he attacks me somewhere or something because he just can't control himself. He controls himself when there are other people around, but if he knows that nobody will see him and he's not going to be held accountable for that, or you can't prove it, like we couldn't prove this now, he can do a whole lot of stuff. because I know him since I was a child, and I know things, and I've seen things. And yeah, neighbors also tell you things, but afterwards they don't want to confirm it. And even lately, I've been said by other neighbor, what? I never told you that, you know. So it's nobody's responsibility if something happens to you. And yeah, hopefully it's not gonna come to that. But I am worried about my brother. So it's under control at the moment because they know that we filed an appeal, and they're in they think they're going to be manipulating this process with the district attorney now, because they obviously have somebody who can press on people in high positions. I don't know whether these people know actually what's going on, because they just go in there, keep speaking their sad story about this the poor little girl was like she's not a girl, and she's dyed in all of the colors, and she has a lot more experience in some things than I do. She's very manipulative, and from a point of view of a psychotherapist, there's something wrong with this girl. She she has some psychotic disorder. I mean, they all do, but she's in obviously in the worst position of all of them. She's probably been abused. She's very traumatized, and she's doing all of this from the point of her trauma. But she's not healed, and she doesn't want to heal, and she's like, I mean, usually, normally, I avoid this kind of people. I can feel compassion for them from a distance, but at the moment, for this little being, she's not little. I don't see it as little, and I don't see her as I see her as a being. She has something attached on her, or she's possessed. She's probably on drugs also. But that it's something like I've never encountered in my life, because I usually avoid this kind of people, and I've been avoiding them successfully for my entire life, although we live door to door. But now with my brother, who was like their target, I just couldn't, and I couldn't explain to him what kind of people they are, because he's lonely and doesn't have any friends. And they, when they wanted something, they were nice to him, and he thought that they will have compassion for him, but actually they don't. They just there when they want to use you, when they want something from you. So they were telling him like, oh, they're taking care of him, they're seeing him as one of their own, like they're like one of their family. And God, please don't see me as your family, because I seen how you treat your family, so I don't want to have any part of this. But you couldn't explain this to my brother. Yeah, it's his karma too, and his lesson, one of his lessons is to learn how to recognize good people from bad people. And it's a very harsh one. So yeah, of course things could go worse. It could have been worse, and he was protected, and hopefully he still will be. We can't remove them from there as much as they can't remove us from there. So I really basically don't see the solution to this. And yeah, this girl, I can't feel any compassion towards her. Now I'm speaking in a lot calmer mode, but when I was speaking there, I was literally not being able to feel. I was in a position. My inner urge from the inside was I wanted to destroy her, and I would have. I was in a place, and I was placed by them in this place in a position that I've never encountered before, um, within myself, that I was this close to abusing and putting at stake everything that I've learned and everything that I've known and everything that I invested my entire lifetime in, just to not to take a revenge to somebody, just to destroy them. And it if I had a bit more, if my heart, let's put it like this, if my heart was different than the way it is, with all of the power, the spiritual abilities that I have, I could have. But I didn't. I was just wet. I was just venting out, and I did not for the sake of them, but for the sake of myself and for the sake of the connection of my guides and the beings that I work with. Because I really love my guides, and I don't want to jeopardize my connection with the spiritual world because I know what's at stake. Not because I'm going to be losing abilities and powers, but because I know through the sessions with people that I do that everything comes back in a full circle sooner or later, and I'm going to be responsible and taken accountable for that. So, of course, I didn't do it, but I was surprised with my inner reaction. Not that I didn't think that I don't have it in myself, but normally, I mean, I work with people who were abused. I was I didn't have that good childhood myself, and yeah, I work with people. I work with people who went through even worse, and I encountered people who experienced horrendous experiences and horrendous trauma, sexual abuse, and people who had somebody die on them, people who had somebody killed on them, but they never had a reaction like that towards another being. Of course, they felt anger, and of course, they felt sadness and all the range of the emotions, and like I myself did, but they didn't they didn't revenge. They were not taking revenge. Not that they were friends or had compassion towards those people, but they just they kept their heart and they kept their humanity, which I don't see in these people, in my neighbors. I literally don't see them as humans. I see him as a. I saw actually in a vision a reptilian being in him. Whether that's something that he's possessed or some expression of his in some other dimension, I don't know. And lucky for us, they're not very intelligent. So we could go. This all could go in a completely different direction. In that case, but their lawyer, actually the lawyer is his cousin relative, his sister. So yeah, there's a lot of nepotism, and there's a lot of been breaking of the law through all of this process. And instead of us being protected by the law, we are jeopardized all along, and we are in danger, especially my brother who cannot defend himself. They're presenting themselves as victims, but we can't even walk freely through our street because the entire summer I went through my street with my phone and a recorder on my phone on because people were swearing and cursing at me, not him but the others who he's speaking all of these sorts of things, not everybody but some. So they're creating this horrendous situation, and it's also due to the energy that I download and the energy that my brother also vibrates and downloads in, because he's also changing, and he's under experiencing a lot of discrimination from them and from other people from our street. And instead of them being on trial for that, we have to prove that we are okay, and we are jeopardized by them all along physically, and being humiliated, and he's been humiliated in the court right there with everything that's being said, and judge didn't say or do anything around that, except once when he stopped their lawyer. So it's been yeah, it's been a lot, and I didn't feel like making any videos or anything. I've been doing sessions and other stuff, and I've been working on doing editing in English for the book that I've done. But this is all messing with my channel, with everything that this is actually, that's what it's meant to do. And it's creating a big block for me because I have to deal with this situation, and I have to invest energy in mm, putting out that fire and with the drama that they are creating, because my brother doesn't know how to handle this situation. He doesn't have the abilities to handle it. And the idea of them just saying whatever they want to say to the police officer because they cannot understand my brother when he speaks, so they just basically believe anything he says. Although I have to admit, the appeals, they never came through the police officers, and nobody in the police actually accused my brother of anything because they see the situation, they see that he cannot harm anybody. But it comes from them. When they see that the police won't react, they go and then and they write the um, they indicate him. I don't know the word in English. I don't know the legal terms for all this. So then they file it to the district attorney and they have to react. So it's been like the since this summer, it's been a long an ongoing process. Every time I go back home, I have to go somewhere with my brother. And now they have another. They actually, what they did, uh the witness that was our witness in a court case, they called him as his witness now, him and his wife, so he testifies against my brother. So yeah, it's a whole lot of drama with a whole lot of unhealed and unconscious people, possibly intoxicated, and well, bunch of addicts. And I'm feeling like I'm dealing with a bunch of 13 to 15-year-old kids who are behaving like kindergarten kids. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. And this is what actually, that was the only thing that I spoke in my Serbian video about, because I just felt it's like a really big injustice. And at the moment, in the collective here in Serbia, actually this is what's going on. It's like a lot of social injustice happening because the institutions are not doing their job, and there have been a lot of ongoing protests since 3 years ago or four. So it's not funny, but I don't know what else to do but laugh at it. At the moment, we are at the governing bodies and government and the president attacking the head, the dean of the university here. So it's not like they're not educated. They're educated, but they're crooks. So it's like uh unhealed, unhealthy bunch of addicts and criminals attacking educated people. And it's exactly where I am and how I feel. So because they basically hate me in my street, and this is a revenge on me because of my education, and they all bought their their diplomas. And because I never felt anything in common with them, and I never wanted to be, and like I said, I never wanted them in my life, and I just they just they don't exist for me. I don't want to meddle with people like that. I don't want them to know anything about me because they abuse it and they use it against you. And I just don't want them in my. I'm not rude. I tell them good day, good afternoon, but that's all. I'm not expecting any favors from them. I'm not expecting uh, if we are in need, or we need repair on the house or anything like that, or we are without bread or food, I'm not even expecting they're going to help us in any way, because they never did. I've had these experiences with them, but they do expect something like that from you, and they will come and take something from you when they can, which they did, which they showed. So yeah, these are the kind of people that I don't want to ever face or know, and less allow in my life and in my energy. But they obviously very attached to my brother. They're hooked on him, as in an entity attachment. So yeah, it's gonna come to an end, but I just don't know what when, and I don't see how at this moment, unless with some divine intervention and something happens to some of them, because I really don't see how they will stop, because they are pretty obnoxious. This is the kind of man that only works on power, and he only admits that um, the force, the brute force, as power, or somebody who has more money, a lot of money. That's power, like an authority, government authority, or power. So somebody who can overpower him or just kick the shit out of him. So believe me, I even thought about that, whether to hire a private investigator and find some dirt on them, or just hire somebody to whip their asses, because I don't know what else to do. But this is again like my powerlessness and my anger talking. Of course, I would not do something like that. But you just, when you're in that situation, you know what else to do. And yeah, although I mean, I can't go and pick up a fight with him because he's quite bigger than me. Although I did practice martial arts, but I would not do that. And And he's done that before with people in our street. He would pick up a fight, and he actually likes that. And this is in, by the way, you get empowered like that. So I would not do that. But yeah, I just didn't see how will the situation, and sending love to them and praying for them does not work, because of them that, and it led to this. They just believe that you're a fool and they can do whatever they want to. So there has to be some higher power with force that's gonna stop them, or somebody who's just going to be they will see as an authority. So of course I'm handling this in astral plane in another way, but I obviously also got my ass kicked there from, not necessarily by any of them, but I from what I see and what I experience in when I'm there, it's not one being, it's like quite a few of them there. So, yeah. So, hopefully, this is going to clear something, me talking about it. Um, yeah, but this is me being in powerlessness, and nobody likes this position. Honestly, in the middle of it, I don't feel like I'm powerless, and but it's a not nice situation. It doesn't provoke the best part of me in me, although I am controlling myself, which is hard. But the worst part for me is that I pick up a lot of energy that my channel, and especially with everything else that I do, and the on the ascension path that I am on, cannot handle. And it's literally creating, it these kind of people would be somebody that on my path I would just not supposed to be in contact with at all. We would just pass by each other. It's like, recently I was walking with somebody, and this person was telling me all sorts of stuff. How he was uh, uh from his youth, and he was speaking a lot about some criminal characters and all the things that they've done, and like drug dealers and stuff like that, but they're like dangerous people. And at some point, he just told me, "Oh, we just passed by two of them. Like you see, they have the two of them walking, and they have behind the bodyguards." Or and I didn't see those people. Just there was nobody for I just nobody there. I I didn't notice anybody passed by us. So yeah, in that way, I'm supposed to be on that level of my path where I don't exist for them and they don't exist for me. I mean, they can see me, but no trigger points, no emotion of I'm just a figure for them that of no importance, and therefore me. Which actually, in the until recently, until we had this situation with my brother, is so my brother is a lot used in this, and is used as as a stumbling block for me, because this does really block my development and does mess with my inner state and with my work. Because when I have to invest energy in dealing with this, I can't invest it in other places that I'm supposed to be actually investing it in. It has a lot of heavy energy. And especially when I have to clear stuff for him and help him and clear the house and the yard and yeah. But basically, people like that cannot handle my energy. They cannot handle themselves. They cannot handle uh, the shifts that are happening with the earth and the cosmic energies that are coming. So in those moments, they create a whole lot of drama, and it's a whole lot of easier to direct your um, outside towards somebody, your um, bad feelings and disappointments, to point finger at somebody else and create drama with somebody else and find an external um, scapegoat, other than dealing with they're the kind of people that they would deal with everything else around them other than their own internal problems and problems that they have amongst themselves as a family, and they do have a and I don't even care what's going on with them, and I have no compassion for them at this moment. I just wanted to get out of my field, get out of my life and my brothers and our field in general, and just, we don't exist for them, they don't exist for us, and just whatever. I don't care whatever happens with them. So if they have been a little bit more smarter, I might have been even interested in helping them, but this is just, they're just trying to poke you, and whatever they're trying to do, like these obnoxious children that they don't know how to draw your attention in a different way, and you cannot stop by giving them attention when they're dangerous. I mean, I'm worried about my brother, so this is why I'm speaking about this. So yeah, and honestly, with all of his problems and disabilities, he's a lot less unconscious than they are. But then, yeah, here we are. We have to deal with them, and I don't know at the moment how to get rid of all of them and all this. And I'm dealing with this in some other ways, yeah. And yeah, we filed an appeal. We're not gonna stop there. Whatever, if the decision is not good, and it might drag itself for a while because it's the way it is in our society here. The institutions, like, this is why we have all of the protests and everything that is going on for lately, because the institutions are not doing what they're supposed to do and protecting who they are supposed to protect, but they're serving themselves and serving the criminals. And I'm faced with it now, heads, and I have to put up a fight with this. Well, not a fight, but I have to do something about it, and I have to bring change in it in my own way. So This is also not only justice for my brother, but for the marginalized groups and disabled people and people, anybody with disabilities, because they don't have a voice. And what I've been doing while I went to court, I had to go with every hearing with my brother because they cannot understand him, so I had to speak for him. So he speaks and I translate. So I'm basically giving him a voice. And we're giving with this a voice to all the people with disabilities. This is his mission. I've done a session with him, so this is kind of his mission. And I'm helping him with his mission as much as I do. And also, he obviously has a karma. And there, I mean, I don't know, but whether they have something to do with it, but I do have karma with reptilian beings, and I do in that session regarding these family ancestral stuff, and where I saw this anger, and uh, I obviously probably they were involved in all this, as or they just represent these kind of energies that I have a lot of problems with. I carried a lot of anger from there, not towards male energy, but towards the unhealed male energy in men and women equally, which are represented through this power over and addictive behavior and brute force and abuse of this brute force against the oppressed. And like all my entire existence since when I first came to form and started having experiences like that, is has to do with me being a revolutionary and protecting the oppressed, and like voicing out a lot, and having my ass kicked because of that, and experiencing a lot of abuse because of that. So yeah, we're ending this here. That's the point. I'm ending this here, and I'm ending with my neighbors and energies like they are and what they represent. I'm just ending it totally and completely. I don't want to have anything to do with it with its energies. And if this is a part of it, if this is that getting out of my system, out of my energy, then good riddance. So so yeah, it was a life of Morgana, and I don't want to speak about that now. I've mentioned it before, and I've seen other uh, stuff that I didn't see before this this point, and there was an energy leak. The problem is because all of these things create traumas for you. These traumas create energy wounds and energy leaks, and there are a lot of attachments on these people, a lot of entities. They're constantly trying to jump on me because I'm there. I can't avoid them, and this is why they're so frustrated with what I do, because that I download a different energy that they can't handle and their entities can't handle. So I mean, what else to do? People constantly tell me, "Well, you gotta move out from there." I don't live there. My brother does, but we're not intending to sell our house because it's not a good situation economically here to do so. So there has to be another solution. I also filed an appeal with the defender of for equality here. I got an answer from her, but basically she can't do anything while the court process is ongoing. And I had a little time to we had a little time to write an appeal. So I wanted her advice on that, but already she answered after all this. So we can connect with her after if we are not satisfied with the outcome. But hopefully the higher court outcome will be a little bit different, or if not, we're going to be taking this out of the court out of the city, and even out of the country if needed, because yeah, It's just, it's completely ridiculous that somebody can just get away with something like that. I mean, I know that they get away even with worse things like that. People get away with murder. If you have a good lawyer and there are technicalities that they can take your case down on these, they do. And this is how people get away with stuff or with bribes or whatever. But it shouldn't be happening. So I'm just counting on that there still are some uncorruptible people somewhere out there. So hopefully that's not gonna escalate further than this. And they also learned something now from all this. And yeah, I'm not gonna be picking up a fight with anybody, but I can see from all of this, my lesson, my takeaway from all of this was that uh, it's so easy to slip, and especially in these energies, because I was seeing myself so ready to slip, so that I can I don't know, was that a revenge or just exerting power on them? And maybe I've done that in the past. I haven't seen it so far, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Uh, mm, but anyways, my surprise was that I was not feeling one bit of a compassion, one bit, one slight. I'm usually the kind of person that is, has a lot of compassion, and I'm ready, and do forgive a lot, and I forgive like even worse things to people. It doesn't mean that I want them in my life, but recently I haven't been able to do that and feel that. And yeah, that kind of took me a little bit by surprise. But I was not surprised with my immediate reaction, because it's like it's normal, it's human, it's the situation that is going on and that stuff that happens to you. It's normal that it provokes anger. But what it's not normal is that you keep carrying it and you don't do anything with it and stack it inside, because then you keep encountering situations like this that's going to be provoking your anger so that you would deal with it. And basically, this is how they were kind of attached and attaching to me, and other people were attaching to me. Because in this session, I saw that there was a cord because of some ritual that happened way then in that life with my intestines. It was a cord from there, and it was sort of a diverting my energy and sending it somewhere. And I know because I saw, and I know who was who was receiving it, who wasn't receiving it. That didn't take me by surprise though, because I knew it, but it just I couldn't accept it for a long time. So I've dealt with it, and that's how it goes, these kind of feelings. So I'm not saying don't feel anger ever. I'm just saying, yeah, it's normal to feel anger. Just have a healthy um, response to it, express it in a healthy way, and deal with it and get it over with. But don't allow it to escalate so that you create an action that's going to eventually hurt yourself in a process, or somebody else, not mention somebody else. And yeah, that doesn't mean we're done with this. Doesn't still diminishes the fact that my neighbor is dangerous. He is dangerous, and I seriously don't know what next he can come up with. And if I'm placed in a situation that I have to defend myself, hopefully I'll defend myself. But I don't know. So I'm just hoping it's not going to come to that, because I have a really big, energetically strong guides. and I'm energetically not a helpless or powerless being. So I'm dealing with all this in another plane, in another way, but it's costing me. That's what I'm saying. It's costing me, and I'd rather if I hadn't, if I didn't have to deal with this. It's not gonna be done yet, because I not only them, but anybody who's like that and who's very unconscious won't be able to put up with these energies, the incoming energies, and they might become even more obnoxious. And I'll be having something like that in my immediate family with my stepmother. She can't. She's going completely crazy. And if I'm speaking about all this, so in order, if you have somebody in your surroundings like this, so that you know why is this going on, you're not the only one. We're all dealing with this or that way. And all the chaos that is happening outside at the moment with the separations and the fights between people and me again, us versus you, us versus them, whatever, uh, whatever is the issue in your country at the moment, and the wars and the attacks that are going on is because of them. And it's going to continue like that. It might enhance itself a little bit throughout April, May too. Uh, it's all going to start to decrease it in intensity before autumn, and it's going to end, I think, before the end of the year, depending on what's going on in which area. But yeah, it it all depends on individual karmas of the people who are involved in this, these situations. So I'm gonna be creating a separate video on this, on what to expect, because so far the information that I've been receiving were correct. It's just that I don't share those things. And I'm kind of shocking myself recently with the accuracy of the information that I receive in my dreams. Because there were no way that I could have known some things and then I actually have confirmation in reality. And I'm not only speaking about the general quality of energies and the events, but this also depends on the collective field and whatever the collective is creating at the moment, whatever is being cleared from the collective. But anyways, from April, mid-April, um, new paths. I mean, they were always available, but more collective awakening will be enhanced, and it will be more visible, and there will be more portals opening and people crossing. Not, I'm not speaking about crossing over physically, but I don't know how to guess that might entail that too. So yeah, how that plays out in whose life, I really honestly don't. Depends on your individual path and your individual soul contract. Yeah, and I should return to speaking about those topics, but I wasn't feeling like talking and creating these YouTube videos because I've been feeling the heaviness of these energies and the situation a lot, and the injustice has been kicking me a lot, and I've been dwelling on it a lot. And honestly, I've been a little depressed about all of that because of because some of the events in my life, and including all of this, while you invest a lot in working with people and helping people, and in return you receive something like this, and I have been taking it really well myself. So I've been wondering lately to what extent. Yeah. But anyways, haven't given up on it yet. I'm still, I'm closer to the certification, finishing the certification process than I used to be. And I'm hoping that I will end this soon. So we'll see what that brings. But yeah, recently it's become much harder to find people who are ready for these kind of sessions. Um, Precisely because of the things that I've been talking about and all the energies, collective energies, and the things in the collective field. But with the upcoming changes, and that will become visible more and more, the destruction will be visible more. Well, the destruction, now let's not call it a destruction, let's call it a dissolution of reality. Like myself, I found myself recently, I had this, it's not a dream, but it was a vision. I had this vision, like a hypnagogic vision. I was walking, like in the session, I was emerging from this tunnel, and like all these dark energies were being cleared. Like this is the bit from the tunnel that was like at the very end, that was like dark, clean, and there's a lot of light. And I was stepping, I'm just nearly stepping there, and then I was on a bridge, on a really long wooden bridge on clouds. And I've had many between live sessions, live between live sessions for myself. And the reason when I shared with you, and I'm, this is a new place. I've never been here before, and I don't have. It's quite long at the moment. I didn't see at that moment what's at the end because I couldn't see the end, and I'm walking it alone. And there's a lot of changes that are happening internally for me. My being is shifting and upgrading. So I don't know at the moment where I'm walking towards and I'm going at, because this is the space in between life that I haven't visited yet. And I thought I've seen it, like the temple and everything. What more? So yeah, I've been called to do something. Obviously, as long as I'm going through this, and I receive the information of the incoming energies and the incoming whatever is happening next, like before. I just feel it a little bit before everybody else. And I'm not the only one. There are other people who do also, but I can only speak from my perspective. And yeah, I haven't been given the green light or the inner urge to speak about that to in these platforms like this. It's just, this is why I'm just sharing bits and glimpse and pieces. Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you're gonna need a lot more of methods like this one for the upcoming changes, and everything that the energies that are bringing in are entailing. Now, regardless, as for the ones who are listening to this, they don't find this strange, but even the people who are finding this strange might be soon enough in a very big need of something like this, or uh, methods that are going to be helping them with energy integration and energy healing. I'm not speaking about the psychological modalities, although a lot more people are using them than before, but that's not going to be enough, because you have to be in a vibrational state to go through certain portals. Not only your willingness and your awareness of something and your intellectual working on it, or even clearing the emotions, won't be enough. You will have to be in a precise, energetic, and vibrational state. And I've seen it in my life because I reached that point And then some drama happens, like something like this that I've been talking about, and everything collapses as if I have never invested in it. And it's so frustrating. You just can't go through the portal. You can't go through that vortex if you're not in a vibrational alignment with it. You're going to be seeing it, you're going to be standing in front of it, and then something from I mean, it doesn't have to be inside, it can be from the outside of reality, but you allow it in, or it just becomes so aggressive that it pushes in, and, just grabs your attention, and you give it too much of attention because it's so loud, or you start being afraid because of it, and then everything collapses. So then you have to work on reaching that vibrational state again a little bit more than before. And I've been doing this for quite a while, and I'm feeling so exhausted and frustrated from it. But that's basically what I'm telling you. That's basically what's going on. So whatever you have, invest in this. I've been doing this for a long time, but now is the time when some of us are going to be propelled through this, because there will be the need. There will always been the need, but there will be the need for a lot more people like me. It's not that like they're not there, not like that people are not doing, but we are, all of us, we have some attachment to this 3D, this or that way, and we're just being confronted with it. It's up in our face, and it can be something different every time. And yeah, I've been dealing with a different thing every day and every other day. But luckily, I'm just going through it through even with working with my clients. So when I reach that point, I will speak to you about it. But for now, I am at this moment where I'm undergoing a lot of metamorphosis and inner shifts. So, if you resonate with this, not with the previous story, but with the last part, and even if you have something like the previous story, yeah, do come and let us work together on it, because we're both working on our own liberation. In this way, you're a mirror. I'm your mirror, and you're my mirror when you come to work with me. So we're working on towards liberating each other. So if you resonate with this, I'm always available for a session. And I do work in English, so yeah, send me a message. Bye.